Well, the US Open draw is out. Welcome to the Slices breakdown of the men's draw. And the big news of the day is Novak Djokovic is out. He will not be competing in this year's US Open. And I think I can speak for everyone saying that that sucks. But this tournament is still going to be awesome. We have some big storylines coming in. Can Nadal get his third slam of 2022? Just crazy, going for number 23. He's got a pretty easy draw too, so we're going to look at that. Medvedev, can he defend his title from last year? So this is the Slice presented by PointsBet Canada. Let's get into it. All right, are you ready for some late August madness? The US Open, some would say the biggest tournament of the year, is about to go down. I am currently still in Europe, as you know. If you're new to the channel here, I'm Stephen Boughton. Welcome to your new home of tennis, information, commentary, analysis, trash talk. It all happens here. So thank you guys for subscribing and liking this video before we get rolling. And this video about the New York-based US Open, which is going to be crazy. Djokovic is not allowed. We're going to get into it in a second, is brought to you by PointsBet Canada. We're going to take a look at the odds here quickly. But if you're in Ontario, Canada, and you want to have some extra fun this year at the US Open, I can speak from experience. It's pretty fun to bet on the tennis. So join with the link below, and you'll get a sweet offer for up to $25 free credit and up to $750 of risk-free betting. It's just no-brainer. So link below for that. And now with Djokovic odds, or Djokovic out, the odds leader is Daniil Medvedev at 3.25 to win the championship. Just behind him is Rafa Nadal at 4.5 to 1. Then Carlitos Alcaraz at 6 to 1. Then Nick Kyrgios, shocker, at 9.5 to 1. And behind him is the 4 seed Stefanos Tsitsipas at 13 to 1. So in my opinion, Stefanos has got some great value on him. He has been playing good, and I feel like it's just his time to kind of step up and maybe make a serious run, get back to the final of the Slam. We'll see based on the draws, which we will now be breaking down. One man who's not in the draw, you guys know who it is. It's Novak Djokovic. So Novak Djokovic is just not allowed to play in the US Open because he's not vaccinated. So to me, in 2022, in August, that's crazy. There are rules. These are the rules. People say you shouldn't worry about it, but not all rules make sense. And in my opinion, these ones don't. There are going to be hundreds, if not thousands, of fans in New York watching the tennis who are unvaccinated. And the number one player in the world, or arguably the best player in the world, one of the fittest people on planet Earth, is not allowed to come to the country to play tennis because he's unvaccinated. Just doesn't make sense, no matter how you slice it. That's the rules, though, and I'm not political, so I'm not going to get into it, but this is definitely political, and it's a shame that Novak Djokovic is not allowed to play. So Nole fam, I honestly feel for you guys, and that sucks. But you should still watch this US Open. It's not going to be called the Moderna Open. Don't think that. It will still be great, but I can understand you being upset if your guy is not there. What else can we say? Djokovic is out. Nadal is in. He's got a fairly simple path to getting 23. We're going to look at his route to the final, but he's the most experienced guy in the slams in the draw by far. He's already won 2 this year. He beat the top seed Medvedev in the final of Australia. So Nadal has got a massive, massive opportunity to add to his slam count. But before we get into the routes to the final, let's take a look at the top 8 seeds, see where they're at, and see what their quarters look like. So top 8 seeds, we got Medvedev and FAA. So we got Medvedev, FAA, number 1 and number 6 in the top quarter. The other 2 highest seeds in that quarter are number 16, Roberto Bautista Agut, and Pablo Carreño Busta, number 12. So 3 acronyms in the top 4 seeds in that top quarter. So that's a big, nice, all 4 of those guys were super good on hard courts. So it's a very competitive quarter, clearly. And that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. If all 4 of them get to the round of 16, the 4th round, that would be interesting. Second quarter, we got Tsitsipas number 4 and Ruud number 5 bookending them. But then we got Berrettini number 13 and Fritz number 10 in the middle there. So again, another super dense quarter. Berrettini's ranking slipped a lot. He's dropped out of the top 8, with no Wimbledon points. And Fritz looks super, super, super dangerous. So that's a totally talent-packed quarter as well. So I think looking at that, you might have seen all the names I've mentioned. I think that half, the top half, has more danger players in it than the bottom does, but it's fairly similar, but I think it's a little bit more top heavy. Third quarter, we got Hurkacz, number 8, and Alcaraz, number 3, bookending this quarter, and with Sinner and Cilic in the middle. So, obviously Cilic won the U.S. Open before, made many or multiple slam finals. Jannik Sinner is playing amazing. So that's another great quarter. They're all great quarters. But honestly, I think those top 3 are harder or more dense packed than the last quarter, which is Cam Norrie, number 7 seed, and Nadal, number 2 seed, in between with Rublev, number 9, and Diego Schwartzman, number 14. So if you look at that, Nadal, I would think that, his biggest, maybe bigger challenge would be FAA or Tsitsipas in the quarterfinals, but that hasn't happened. So he potentially could play Norrie in the quarterfinals, or he could play Rublev in the quarterfinals. I think I would probably be shocked, though, if he lost before the semifinals. So let's take a look at the routes to the final, because that shows how difficult it is for the top seeds to get through. Medvedev, he's got Kozlov in the Stefan Kozlov, American, in the first round, Rinderknech in the second round, then potentially Ben Shelton in the third round. That would be super interesting to have. We all know Medvedev's history with the New York crowd, but I think they like him now. He won the tournament last year, did the fish flop. It was legendary. It would be insane to watch him versus Ben Shelton, the new American upstart who's like 18 years old and huge and large and in charge. That would be a crazy match. The American fans would be going nuts for that. That would be a night match. That would be crazy. So that could be a potentially tricky third round. And then the fourth round, he's scheduled to play, if all goes according to plan, Nick Kyrgios. So that's tough. So he just lost to him in Montreal, if you don't remember. So my thought is, that was a super tight match, and I think Medvedev's still definitely the favorite in the 5-set format for sure. But that'll be interesting. That'll be super interesting if that match happens. And I would be most interested to see how does Medvedev change his returning, because he just stayed back, and Kyrgios, if you remember, just served and volleyed the entire match, basically. It was crazy. So if he can make it through there, then he's got Pablo Carreño Busta or Felix Auger-Aliassime in the quarterfinals, Tsitsipas or Ruud in the semifinals, and then most likely Nadal in the final. So just from that, you can't think that that's like a super easy route to the final if you are a Medvedev fan. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Nadal, just before I even say it, I think he's got a great draw for him. He's got Australian Hijikata in the first round, Fognini potentially in the second round, Kecmanovic in the third round, then either Schwartzman or Tiafoe in the fourth round, either Norrie or Rublev in the quarterfinals, and then either Alcaraz or Hurkacz in the semis, and then the finals, Medvedev or Tsitsipas. So really looking at that, it would be shocking, in my opinion, it would be pretty shocking if Nadal lost before the semifinals. Obviously, Norrie or Rublev over 5 sets, if they're playing great, they could beat him. They could play super well, and they could beat him, I think. Schwartzman or Tiafoe, I think Schwartzman's just too short on the high-bouncing hard courts. Tiafoe, the athlete that he has, he could definitely do that and make it super tough. We don't know, because Nadal lost to Borna Coric last week in Cincinnati, and that's the only match he's played since pulling out of Wimbledon with an injury. So a lot is up to Nadal's physicality, but we've seen over the last couple of years when he's always been in question with his physicality, when he can work himself into a tournament, he usually starts to feel better, obviously except for at Wimbledon when that abdominal tear boiled up and inhibited him from keeping going. So to me, though, that's a pretty good draw for Nadal, fairly easy. And out of the 4, spoiler, I think he's got the easiest draw out of the 4 top seeds. Let's take a look at Alcaraz, Carlitos Alcaraz, playing with a little less pressure now. You guys heard him. He struggled with the pressure against Tommy Paul in Montreal. He said that he couldn't handle the pressure of being the favorite. So now he's the 3rd seed at a major. That's pretty favorite-ish, if you ask me. First round, tough one for him. Sebastian Baez in the first round. Jeepers. That's a pitbull matchup right there. Alcaraz a little bit taller, but Baez packs a huge punch. So that's honestly a risky first round for Carlitos Alcaraz. Round 2, Greek sport. Round 3, Coric or Brooksby. Coric is playing lights out tennis right now. Just won Cincinnati, so that's really tough for him. 4th round, Cilic, slam winner, or Dan Evans, super crafty, played great tennis in Canada. Then quarterfinals, Hurkacz, semifinals, Nadal. You know how it is. So that's a pretty tough route for Alcaraz, is it not? Like that's not fun if you're the favorite, but maybe this is going to be trial by fire. He'll learn to play with the favorite label, and he'll just get it done, and he'll play the tennis that we know he can play. But it's still crazy to think that an 18, 19-year-old, is the third seed. So he's just like outright expected to make the semifinals. He hasn't made it to a semifinals of a slam yet. So his ranking is above where his slam progress has gotten to so far in his career, but that's not to say that he obviously can't get it done. So let's just wait and see. Then Tsitsipas, the fourth seed, who I would not sleep on. As I said, first round qualifier, Sonego or Thompson in the second round, Cressy in the third round. Nightmare scenario. No one wants to play Maxime Cressy, I'll tell you that. Berrettini fourth round, Ruud or Fritz in the quarterfinals, Medvedev semifinals, Nadal finals. So tough route again for Tsitsipas. But he's playing good tennis. So Medvedev should be fine. It depends if Medvedev comes and plays his best tennis like he was last year at the U.S. Open, where he got a fairly easy draw, but he just cruised through guys like Felix Auger-Aliassime. He might not have issues, but I think it's fair to say, what about you, that Nadal probably has the best route to the finals, although obviously it's a major and obviously it's still tough, and it gets tougher for him the older he gets, but he just keeps winning the older he gets. So we'll see if the younger generation steps up and causes him an issue. But Raf family, you guys are probably getting a little stoked, aren't you? You're getting a little stoked, aren't you? Let's look at some first round fire to wrap up this preview of the draw, breakdown of the draw. I feel like it's pretty strung out evenly, a lot of talent on both top and bottom. And there's not too many amazing or big time first round matches. Kyrgios versus Kokkinakis, the Australian Civil War. That's a first round match that neither of those guys wanted for sure. Australian tennis fans didn't want for sure. So one of them's going out in the first round, probably going to be Kokkinakis, but there's going to be a lot to play, a lot at stake there in that first round. Pablo Carreño Busta versus Dominic Thiem. Kind of a sad matchup in my opinion. Thiem, you're hoping to see him get some wins. He's technically playing for the U.S. Open for the first time, I think, since he won it. Or maybe he played in 2021. No, he won it in 2021. No, he won it in 2020. I don't know. I'm confused. No, he didn't play in 2021 because that's when he was injured. So, yeah, this is the first time he's playing since then. So that'll be super interesting. I don't know if I think Thiem is definitely the underdog there. Kyle Edmund versus Casper Ruud first round. Kyle Edmund's coming out of crazy battle with injuries over the last while. And then, like I already mentioned, Baez versus Alcaraz is a fire matchup. So there's your first round fire. What do you guys think of the draw? Super weird with Djokovic out. Again, I'm not a fan of that, but I am a fan of the U.S. Open starting this weekend. So strap in. It's going to be a good one. Let me know what you think of the draw. And a reminder, if you're in Ontario, do the Slice a favor. Hit the link below and just sign up for PointsBet. Throw a couple free bucks in there and test your luck. We'll see you guys next time after the second round. And we'll see you daily on my Instagram at The Slice, Steven, and our Instagram at The Slice, where I'll be doing daily Slice updates for y'all. Thanks for being here, and let the games begin.